What's up, champs? Welcome to today's video. My name is Sean Peterson. I'm a full-time seven-figure Amazon seller. And in today's video, we're gonna be talking about Alibaba. We're gonna be covering everything that you need to know when it comes to sourcing your product in terms of finding the best product, getting the best price, how to pay for the product, how to get samples, how to vet suppliers and make sure that they are top-notch quality. We're gonna be covering all of that in today's video, but before we dive into it, do me a favor, go down, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and drop a comment, and let's get into it. All right, so let's dive into it, the video, and let's break down everything that you need to know when it comes to sourcing your next Amazon FBA product. We're gonna be using a tool called Alibaba. It is actually the largest online retailer in the world. A lot of times people think that Amazon's the largest, and little did you know, Alibaba is actually larger. And this video is sponsored by Alibaba, and what's crazy is every single product that I've launched on Amazon, which is over 30, I found and sourced using Alibaba. So what I wanna do is give you guys a complete step-by-step tutorial of how to actually use it so that you can go find the perfect product for you to go launch on Amazon and make an absolute killing. So let's come over here, and the first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to sign up. So it's completely free to sign up. So go to alibaba.com, and I'll put a link down below, but it's just alibaba.com. You can search it or Google it or whatever. And then you go right here and you hit join for free. You're gonna enter in some basic information. You're gonna verify your email, and boom, just like that, you have an account. And once you have an account, it's going to look something like this once you're logged in, and it's super basic. So you have your My Alibaba account. It says, hey, Trevin, and then it has some different things that we'll go over, like my favorites, my orders, and whatnot. So it's amazing how useful and how user-friendly this software or online platform actually is. And for this video, I want to show you the exact steps that I would take to source a dog tent. So this is the product that I found. That's obviously the first step, is you need to do product research. You need to find a product that's in demand with low competition. And once you find a potential product, you need to then source that product, get samples, and see, hey, is this product actually good? Is this product better than my competition? So we're gonna cover all of that. And we're actually going to be looking to sell a dog tent that's a teepee. So just like this, there's a few teepee dog tents. There's obviously some different variations, but we're gonna come over to Alibaba, and that's the first thing that I'm gonna do, is I'm going to search dog tent, or I could search dog teepee, and I'm sure a lot of different things would come up. So as you can see, here's the first one. I mean, this is very similar to the number one seller or the top seller right here. I guess this is a sponsored product, so it's very similar. There's a few different distinctions between the two. Then it has this newest, this hammock. So maybe this isn't the best keyword, dog tent, but as you scroll down, you'll see there's a few dog teepees. And so instead of searching dog tent, I'm gonna search dog TP right there. And I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit more options. And so right here, as you can see, here is a dog teepee, and here's another, here's another, here's another. And so what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to come over here on this left-hand side, and this is very important. This is where you're actually going to vet your suppliers and make sure that you're getting the top-notch supplier. So come over here, and there's different supplier types. So you're going to hit trade assurance, and this basically is one of the most important things when ordering on Alibaba or finding a product on Alibaba, is using a supplier with trade assurance. Basically what that means is if something goes wrong with the order, or you pay for the product and they never ship it to you, or something goes wrong, or they send a complete wrong product or terrible product, you can get your money back. It is protected with what's called Alibaba Trade Assurance. It's basically kind of like insurance, if you want to call it that. And so it just protects your order. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do, is put trade assurance. The next thing that's optional is you can do a verified supplier. Now, this is not always 100% required. Now, it can be recommended, and it's just another step to verify the supplier. And basically what that means is Alibaba has verified that supplier, and they know that that supplier is going to be good. And so that's something that you can do. And I recommend clicking on that. If there's not a ton of options, then maybe you can uncheck that and you're still going to be okay, but that's just another layer of protection that you're going to want to do. So those things, the supplier types, trade assurance, verified supplier, then what you're gonna do is the minimum order. For those that don't know what an MOQ is, that's what suppliers are gonna refer to as a MOQ. It stands for minimum order quantity. That basically means you have to order a minimum order of 500 units to work with that supplier. And that could vary. I'm not just saying 500 units. Some suppliers could be 200. Some suppliers could be 1 unit. It just depends on the type of supplier. So if you're like, hey, I don't want to spend millions of dollars or thousands of dollars ordering a product. I just want to maybe order a couple hundred units. I'm going to come right here and do the minimum order of 200. So that's going to filter out all of the suppliers that have a super high minimum order quantity. Then right here, you can sort it out by price. That's optional. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to kind of get a feel for what they have to offer. And then right here, you can find the different suppliers. So mainly right here, they're based out of China, but sometimes you might be able to find a supplier from India or maybe the United States. And so that's something that you can play around with right there. And if you can find a supplier, for example, in the United States, that is awesome and you can be profitable with that supplier, that could be a huge benefit. And that's something that you could advertise in your listing and like your images saying, hey, it's made in the US. And that's another advantage that you could do. Now, that's not necessary. All the products that I sell are manufactured overseas in China. And so that's where I mainly get my products. It's where I've gotten the best quality and the best deals, the best price for the products that I sell. So from there, we're just going to keep scrolling. And as you can see, we found, here's a few. And the first thing that I do is I'm going to hit this little heart button. And this is very important and I'll explain why later on. But when I find a product that is similar to what I'm looking for, I'm just going to go and heart every single one. So as I already did it to this one, I did it to this one, here's another one. I'm gonna heart this one. I'm gonna click on this one. I'm gonna heart this one. And what that's going to do is it's going to add all of those products to my favorites. And this is basically how I get the best deals. I find all the suppliers offering a similar product that I'm looking to sell, and I'm going to reach out to not just 3 or 4, I'm going to reach out to every single supplier. And that may sound like a lot of work, but if you want the best deal, you need to talk to every single person and get a feel for, number one, how do they communicate? Do they respond quick? Are they easy? Do they understand what you want? Do they offer what you want? Is the minimum order super high where this one may be super low? Or is one selling it for $10 and another selling for $5? And why? And so the only way to figure that out is by actually talking to them. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so if you come over here, we'll go to my favorites. And obviously I could scroll and there's probably a ton more, but I got a good selection of different suppliers that I can look at. And right here, I can go right here and I can hit leave a message or contact supplier and I can just immediately start reaching out to them. And actually, I don't do that. That's not how I reach out to suppliers. It's an option, but there's another way and I'm gonna show you inside my phone. I'm gonna do screen recording and actually show you, but that is one way, but that's not how I do it. I just wanna show you that that is an option. You can contact supplier right there, but I found a better and easier way to actually communicate with suppliers, which I'll show you later on. But before we start reaching out, I wanna talk about a few other metrics that you guys can actually look at to know, okay, is this supplier good or not? And it's right here where it says 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, 18 years. That basically means this is how long the supplier has been in business. And this is something very, very important to look at because I'd rather work with a supplier that's been in business for 18 years than 4 years. 4 years is decent, but if a supplier has been around for 18 years, they're doing something right. They're providing really good products, customers are happy, they're making money, and I wanna work with them. I wanna work with a business that's not just been around for a few months. And so for the most part, all of these suppliers, 8 years, 18 years, 4 years, 9 years, 10 years, this one with 3 years, that's not gonna like turn me off completely, but I might be a little bit more hesitant. So that's another way to vet your suppliers is figure out, okay, how long have they actually been in business? Another thing that you can do is you can actually click on this supplier. So they've been in business for 10 years. And as you can see, They have like videos of the factory, so it's super cool to see that. If you come over here, right here it says it's a verified supplier. It gives a lot of information. So right here it's 10 years, and then they have a 4.7 rating, which is really good. So if they have like a 3-star rating, it's the same thing with Amazon. You're looking at the reviews, and if they have 2-star reviews, you don't want to deal with that. And so that's another thing that you can look at. Their response time quick. Does it take them forever to respond? 7 hours is pretty good. Now, if it's like 2-3 days, I don't want to deal with that. Another thing that you can look at is the on-time delivery rate. So 75% of the time they're on time. That's something that maybe could be a red flag. Now, that's not all the time, but if that's like 40%, you just gotta understand that. Now, that doesn't mean that they're the worst supplier ever, but just understand that if they say it's gonna be a 2-week lead time, it might be 3 or it might be 4. So those are things that are great to look at. And that is basically how I'm finding the best supplier. I know I'm going to not get ripped off, and I know that I'm dealing with somebody that actually knows what they're doing. So a few more things that I wanna talk about is let's come back here to my favorites. And we're gonna actually dive into my screen, and we're gonna start showing you how I actually reach out to suppliers. Okay, so here we are inside my phone. And if you come over here to the Alibaba app, you just go to the App Store and you just search Alibaba, and it's right here. You can click on it. And this is by far the best way to actually reach out to the suppliers. So now that we have a list, we favorited the ones that we want to reach out to, we vetted them, we know that they've been in business for a long time, the response rate is good, they're verified, they have trade assurance, all those things we've checked off our list. Now what we're gonna do is we're actually going to reach out to them. So we're gonna come over here to the Alibaba app. And as you guys can see, it's super easy to navigate. We're down in the right-hand corner, I hit Alibaba, and then I'm gonna come over here and click on my favorites. It says 23. You're gonna actually click on that right there. And from there, it automatically synced. So all those things that I just favorited, I now have on my phone. And I do that for a reason, because it's a lot easier to communicate with suppliers through the Alibaba app. I've seen it work time and time and time again. It's way easier than going and hitting the contact, even via email. You just do it all through the app, and it's called Ali Chat. And so what I'm gonna do is this particular supplier, I'm just gonna reach out to the first one. So the MOQ is 100. It has a price range to 480 to 1680. And that's one thing that I'm noticing is there's a quite disparity in price differences. They have from $4 to $16. And so those are things that you're just going to reach out and see why that is. What products do they offer? What can they customize? And so to reach out, I'm going to click on this, and then right here, I'm going to hit chat now. And from there, it shows the product, and I'm going to type my message. So I'm going to start typing, see if I can enter my message. I'm going to say, hey, I am interested in this product, smiley face. Now, that's not exactly how I reach out to people. If you guys want a complete full template, but maybe I'll put one together that you guys can download. But as you can see, I reached out and I got an automated message back to me. And so it was 100% automated. So it says I'll respond as soon as possible. So once they respond, you'll then communicate back and forth and see what they have to offer. And you can discuss the product features that you may want changed. You can discuss if you can add your logo. You can discuss the minimum order if you want to customize a certain part. And that is what you do right here in the app. A lot of times people are like, well, how do I customize my products? How do I ask my supplier if they can add this feature? You're just going to do everything right here on the app, and you're going to basically just text back and forth and see what they have to offer. And I know that this might sound annoying and it may sound like a long process, and if you are scared of this or if you don't want to do this, then don't sell on Amazon. But you're going to be doing that to all of these different suppliers. You're going to be reaching out to each individual one. And so what I like doing is I like coming up with like a saying or like a paragraph of what I'm looking for, and I just simply copy and paste and send it to 10 different suppliers. I wait for the responses. Some respond quick, some don't respond, or some will say, hey, we can't do that, or we can't offer that. And if that's the case, then you just delete them, and then you narrow it down from 20 suppliers to 10. And then finally you whittle it down to, let's say, 3 to 5 suppliers that you're like, hey, I might want to work with them. And so what you're going to do is, obviously you were communicating back and forth. We're gonna close my phone and we're gonna jump back into my screen. And we're gonna come back over here inside my screen and we're gonna come back to Alibaba. And basically what you're gonna do as you're communicating back and forth with the supplier, you're going to ask a number of questions. You wanna know the minimum order, you wanna know the price, can you customize, can you get a thank you card insert, can you do a barcode label, can you do customized packaging? And those are all things that you're just gonna ask the supplier back and forth. So once you find the 3 to 5 suppliers, what you're actually going to do is you're going to narrow it down to maybe 1 to 2, and you're going to actually order a sample from the supplier. This is absolutely crucial for your Amazon FBA success. And the reason why it's so important to order a sample is there's just something about actually feeling the product. It's one thing to look at pictures, but it's another to actually have the product in your hand and know, hey, this is good quality or this is not. And so this is a pro tip, and this is what I do, is I'm gonna go to Amazon, and let's say this is my top competitor. I know that this product is 40 bucks, there's another that's 70. I'm gonna go and I'm actually going to order this product. This is my top competitor, and I need to order this product, and I need to see with my own hands what makes their product so good. What are they doing with their packaging? I need to fill the product. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order a sample from a supplier, and I'm gonna get both of them in my hands, and I'm gonna be able to compare them. And I'm gonna say, hey, this product is good, or this product is bad, and I need to improve it. Or, hey, my supplier just proved to me that their product is better than the one selling on Amazon. And if you cannot say that, you can't say that your supplier gave you a better product than the one selling on Amazon, you need to find a new supplier. So that's very, very important to do, is order your competition's product. I'm not saying order it, leave bad reviews and manipulate it. You can order it, have it for a week or so, and then return it, okay? But you need to have both of them in your hands and know, okay, are these good quality? That is so important, and a lot of new sellers don't take the time to do that because they're scared of spending $40 on their competitor's product, or they're scared to spend $40, $50 on a sample, when in reality, you have to do that. And so I just want to talk briefly about pricing it for samples and what to expect. It's going to cost between, I would say, minimum $30 all the way up to $200 for a sample. That may sound like a lot, but it also depends on the type of product, how big the product is, and how much you're customizing it. If it's a simple basic product that's light, it's gonna be probably between $30 to $50. But if it's a big customized product, shipping costs a lot. And so that sample may cost you $200, but it is well worth it to know, okay, this supplier is providing the best quality product. So that is how I vet the suppliers. Trade assurance, verified suppliers. I make sure how long have they been in business, the reviews right here, how long have they been in business, their response rate, all of those things. That is very important to look at. And then from there, let's talk about getting the best deal and getting the best price. I know we just went through and favorited 10 different products, and that's basically how you're gonna get the best price. You're going to reach out to different suppliers, and some suppliers are going to offer the same exact products for a little bit more. And you can actually use suppliers and leverage their quotes to other suppliers. So if you get a quote from one supplier and they're saying, hey, it's gonna be 10 bucks landed, you can reach out to another supplier and be like, hey, why is yours $15 when I just got a quote from this supplier? Is there something that you can do to work with me? And that's what you're going to basically do, is negotiate with them, use other suppliers' quotes and say, hey, this supplier is offering it for this, why can't you do this? And then that way you're going to get the best deal. And a lot of times people stress, hey, is this supplier ripping me off? And this is a great way to actually figure out whether or not they're ripping you off, is just by using the profitability calculator and calculating your profit margins. And if your profit margins are healthy, then that means the supplier is not ripping you off. But if your profit margins are like 10, 12%, then you're like, well, that's probably not the best, and I could probably get better. And so that's a great way to know whether or not your supplier is doing you a favor or giving you the best price product. And that's very important to do, is calculate your margins. If you're profitable, that supplier is hooking you up. And lastly, let's talk about payments. What is the safest way to pay for your products? This is Very important, so listen closely. I know we've been talking for over 20 minutes, but I hope that you found a lot of value. And if you have, like the video, consider subscribing. I appreciate your guys' support. So we know how to vet suppliers, we know how to find suppliers, we know how to communicate with suppliers through the Alibaba app. And what we're going to do is once we find the right supplier, you're going to pay for the sample, and you're going to, the same way that you pay for the sample is the same way that you're going to actually pay for the product. And what you're going to do is you're going to come up with a deal. So whether it's $3 a unit and it's gonna cost $200 shipping or whatever the case is, ask to have them send you an invoice. And basically you're gonna provide your name, your phone number, your email, and provide the same exact email. This is important, the same exact email that is connected to your Alibaba account. And once you provide that information to the supplier, they'll actually send you basically an order form through Alibaba that you can go on and pay directly through what's called Alipay. And this is by far the safest, and this is how you get trade assurance. So you need to specify that and be clear with your supplier and say, hey, I want to pay via Alibaba trade assurance. Provide that information and then they'll send you an order, and this is what it's going to look like. So once you get the order, you can pay on your app, which that's what I do because I communicate with my suppliers back and forth, and then I just pay on my app. Or you can come here on your computer and you can come right here to the Alibaba icon, and you're gonna come over here to my orders. From here, you're going to see the orders that your supplier has actually left. And this was back, let's see, in 2018, you've heard of this product where I was selling a fidget pen, and I got shut down anyways, but this is the perfect example to show you exactly what it's going to be. So as you can see, the amount is $513. I was ordering 200 units. And so I can come over here and I can hit make payment. And from there, this is where you're just going to simply fill out your credit or debit card information. They accept all types of credit or debit cards, and it makes it super easy. There is a processing fee of just under 3%, but it is well worth it for me. I mean, I'm getting 2% cash back using my credit card, and so it ends up only costing me 1% to do this, but at least it's security. I have trade assurance, and worst case scenario, I have my credit card that I can report if something goes wrong. Normally, and most of the time, Alibaba just takes care of you 100%, and that's what I absolutely love about it. And so for the most part, I am paying via credit and debit card. You can pay via Western Union and wire transfer. Western Union, I mean, you can do that. It's obviously a less of a fee. And so down the road, when you have bigger and larger orders, if you want to save some money, you can totally do that. Wire transfer depends on your bank. You can save some money there as well. Apple Pay, it's a little bit more than using your credit or debit card. But for the most part, all of those payment options are perfectly fine and 100% safe. So that's what I recommend, is paying for products right there. And then you just hit pay now, and boom, just like that, you have your product ordered, whether it's a sample. You get your sample, and then if you're happy with the sample, you then order the bulk units of 200 or 300 or however many you decide to order. And just like that, you have your product sourced and ready to roll. If you guys need a tutorial on now how to ship that product from your supplier to Amazon, I have a complete YouTube video breaking that down as well, which I'll maybe link down below, or you can search it on YouTube. But that is everything that I do when using Alibaba to find a supplier, to vet the supplier, to get the best price, communicating with the supplier, paying for the product. I know that this video is long, but it is well needed and something that you guys need to make sure that you do properly, because if you get a bad product, if you have a bad supplier, if you have a bad relationship, if you don't know how to navigate these things, your Amazon business is not going to go anywhere. So I hope you guys enjoyed this step-by-step tutorial of Alibaba. I just want to say thanks to Alibaba for sponsoring this video. It's been amazing, and I'm excited to see what is going to come in the future. And if you guys need any help whatsoever, go down in the description, check out the resources that I have for you. I just want to say thank you guys for the support, and we will see you in the next video.